for your application. We received an application for both vacancies. So this, I believe, is the first seat in front of us. You've been in front of the fourth before and certified by them. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your qualifications to hold judicial office.
Sure. So good morning, everyone. My name is Galen, Bauer. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a civil attorney. I've been in civil practice in Jacksonville with a firm called Spoor and Dodd for 20 years almost now. It'll be 20 years in September since I was sworn in, and I've been with the same firm ever since doing civil litigation. I've wanted to be a judge for a long time. I've applied twice before with the Fourth Circuit and have been certified twice, as you indicated. That started in 2019 for me. So for 6 years, I've been trying, but I've been thinking about it for a lot longer than that, going back to since I was a baby lawyer. So this is an opportunity that I'd love to have. I think I'm a good fit for the job, and whether it's circuit or county, my experience has been in circuit, but I've had the chance to observe county court as well, and I'm confident that I could handle either one.
Some of the cases you handle and talk with all your references, basically, and do a lot of complex litigation. Do you find yourself a better fit for county court or circuit court?
Either one. Circuit has been my experience, so the learning curve is smaller in circuit court for me. But county court, I'm confident I could handle. Like I said, I've had the chance to observe some of that on the criminal side, misdemeanor criminal stuff. And in fact, I think I saw you in court. I was a virtual observer a week or two ago when you were there with so circuit would more naturally fit my experience, but I'm confident I could do either one.
The circuit seat we have currently is a vacancy in family court in Volusia County. And that's what we're say for now. If you could touch on lack of family law experience, the fact that this is probably going to be in Daytona.
Sure. So in terms of lack of family law experience, again, I think I could pick that up pretty quickly. Unfortunately, I've been divorced myself, and going through that process, you're pretty motivated to learn what you need to learn to get through a family law case. So I spent a lot of time learning about family law then. In terms of the location of the job, I live in Nocatee, and I commute to downtown Jacksonville every day, which is where our office is located. That's 45 minutes. It's an hour. Last night coming home was an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm used to that. Commuting doesn't bother me. I use the car time to call friends, call family, call business, call things like that. And I have a supportive wife who has told me if this opportunity comes up, no matter where it is, you take it.
What are the qualities of a great judge?
Patience for one, scholarship for two, demeanor for three. And so a good judge has to instill confidence in the people who come before them. They have to demonstrate a good judicial demeanor, meaning patience, understanding, and things like that. But also have to, be careful in the way they make decisions. Yesterday, I spent the day drafting a 10-page order for a judge in a civil case on a complex issue that required a lot of case law research and a lot of case analysis, distinguishing and things like that. And so scholarship is an important quality for a judge. I already touched on demeanor. And, I think a good judge also has to understand that this is not just a job where you sit on the bench from 9 to 5 and then you're done. A judge is a judge 24/7, 365. And anyone who wants to be a judge has to understand that when you go out to dinner, when you go play golf, whatever you do, people know who you are and they expect you to carry yourself a certain way.
Do you have a judicial philosophy? And if so, what is it?
I do. And my philosophy is basically judicial restraint. We all learn in elementary school or middle school about the separation of powers. And I believe that's an important part of our government. And it's up to the legislative branch, and to the extent there's executive action, the executive branch to create the policy, and it's up to the judicial branch to enforce it. That's it. A judge's job is not to create law.
You applied for a county court seat, so if you could name all the judges that you are aware of here in St. John's.
All the judges in St. Johns County? Judge Woolsey is the one that I've spent some time observing her courtroom. Judge Christini, I've not had the chance to watch. Judge Judge Maltz, rather, actually had a case against him back when he was working for the city of Jacksonville, and have appeared in front of him quite a few times. Judge Farabee was a law school classmate of mine. I'm fond of him. That's all I can think of at the moment.
Do you have a preference between the Fourth Circuit and the Seventh Circuit, and do you plan to put in for these 4 spots that'll be coming open?
I would say no. And that's just an honest answer because, again, these opportunities are rare. And when they come up, you have to try to take them. You know, I've applied in the Fourth. And so I want to be candid with you all that if an opening came up there, I would strongly consider that. I live in St. Johns County, though, and we have a 13-year-old who we'd like to keep in school there. So the idea of moving to Duval at the moment into a different circuit is problematic for my family.
Do you take cases? I mean, have you taken cases in Volusia, Putnam, Flagler County, St. Johns County?
I'd take cases anywhere, depending whether it's different states, different countries, you name it.
I mean, have you had cases there?
Yes, St. John's, yes. Volusia, yes. Represented a hangar keeper down there at the airport in Volusia. Putnam, I can't think of any cases I've had in Putnam. The opportunity hasn't come up. But if it did, I would take it.
You're board certified in aviation. How many aviation board certified lawyers are there? Do you have an idea?
Last count, about 45.
And what are the requirements for that board certification?
Experience, you have to pass an exam. Peer review, the part of it. The exam's a real tough one. There are review courses for that, and you have to spend a lot of time studying because what I do is aviation litigation, but other areas tested on that exam are transactional things, leasing and sales of aircraft, airport land use, airport or airline labor law. Those are things that I don't spend my daily practice doing. So it was a challenge.
On your professional honors, I saw you had American Board of Trial Advocates in December 2024. Can you tell us about that honor or recognition?
Sure. So ODA, as they call it, is I guess you'd call it a fraternal organization, more or less, professional organization. And you have to have a certain number of jury trials or bench trials. You have to have, again, peer review. You have to be voted on by people who are already members of the organization for membership and then ultimately inducted.
It's plaintiff and defense, right?
Plaintiff and defense, yes.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's been a couple of years.
Been a minute, yeah.
Tell me about your jury trials because I saw Mr. Spohr do a presentation on the crash in Afghanistan. That was pretty complex. So you've got 9 of them, but I imagine they aren't one-day trials. Tell me a little bit about that.
I wish they were one-day trials.
The mediations
The mediation take longer than that, as Mr. White knows. My trials range from usually 1 to 2 weeks, more commonly 2 weeks. I also handle medical malpractice cases, and those almost always go more than 1 week at a time. And they always involve complex issues, whether it's medical malpractice, aviation, or whatever, whether it's federal preemption, whether it's, you name it, yeah. I can't think of, I think I had one-day trial that was a bench trial, and that probably didn't even make my list. I forget about it most of the time. As I indicated, I wanted to be a judge for a long time. When I was in high school, is when it really started for me, that itch for public service. I'm proud to say I have a daughter who's in the Army now, and she took some of that from me. She told me, Dad, I've heard you say so many times that one of your biggest regrets in life is never having served in the military. And that's true for me. And for me, it was pretty touching for her to tell me that I had that influence on her. So that was cool. But I came from a poor family, and in high school, I had the chance to go to Washington, D.C. and sit on the floor of the House of Representatives, listen to a speech, and walk through the tunnels, from the Senate building to another Senate building, things like that. But I had to go around to different organizations within the community, raise money, go on that trip. So I had to go speak to the JCs, Kiwanis, the American Revolution, and ask them to help fund my trip to DC so that I could study government and experience it. And ever since then, that had an influence on me, and I've had the itch.
Have you read the Florida Code of Judicial Conduct?
Yes.
How many times have you read it?
Probably 3.
And as an applicant for judge currently, as you stand there, do any of those canons apply to you?
all of them apply to me.
Don't have any.
Follow up on what you just said, your partner is a very reputable firm. If you get appointed, you will take a pay cut.
Yeah.
What is, what's the drive to give that up?
Again, the call to public service, which I know sounds cliche maybe, but that's always been there for me. I've wanted to be a judge for a long time, and when I interviewed in the fourth before, they've said, "Are you crazy? This is a big pay cut for you. Do you realize that?" And all I can say to that is that speaks to how much I want the job. I've been lucky in the firm I'm in to do pretty well, and we have a pretty good lifestyle, and I'm confident that based on where we are now, a judge's salary would allow us to sustain that lifestyle for the most part, not without some sacrifice. But I'm aware it's a pay cut. I'm willing to accept it, and that's how much I want the job.
You have a lot of applicants when they're asked, why temporaries here. What is the significance of AV rating in Martindale? And why they took it seriously? And what is the significance of it?
I wish I knew the answer to that. Probably not what it used to be when there was a book that people would look at and try to find a lawyer who's AV rated. There's a lot of rating organizations out there now, but Martindale Hubble is kind of the old school rating organization, and I don't know how many people have it.
You meant to say things.
I don't know how many people have an AV rating. I expect it's a small percentage. I've had that since, I can't remember on my application, 2013 or 14 maybe.
Terry, after you brought that up the first time, I went and got AV rated. So
See that and see, so you're saying all it took was an application.
no,
Exactly.
okay.
All it took was a credit card.
Your closing argument. Okay, anything you want to highlight or touch on that we have not discussed that you important, that we may have left out?
I mean, I try to put as much as I could in my application. Some people may see that I've changed party affiliations not that long ago. My wife is a lifelong Republican, and she and I have had lots of conversations about this issue since we met. And so I've done a lot of soul searching, and I don't know how important that is, but I just wanted to make the committee aware that I did do that this year in 2025. And, like I said, this is a job that I really, really want to do. I've had conversations with Mr. White about it in mediation settings or, post-remediation settings to let him know that. And I'm happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. And, like I said, I'm confident that if I were lucky enough to get through the committee and lucky enough to be selected, I would be a good judge for St. John's or for the Seventh Circuit for a long time. Thank you.
Process.